Great. So, yes, we are on this part two of the International Student Orientation, the student panel session. Now, to start us off, I would like to respectfully acknowledge that Simon Fraser University is located on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Katzie, Coquitlam, Kwikwat, Kwantlen, Semiahmoo, and Tsawwassen nations. Now, what I've shared is a land acknowledgement, and some of you may be familiar with land acknowledgements, while it may be something quite new for others. We will, acknowledge the land to honor Indigenous people who have lived and worked on this land historically and presently. Great, next slide. Okay, so this brings us to the agenda for today. So as you see on the screen here, we have our welcome and introduction. Next, we will move to the international student resources and engagement opportunities. Then we'll have a presentation on your health and wellness while at SFU, very important. We'll then go to the panel discussion where we're going to hear from our wonderful panelists today. As mentioned, we will have a dedicated time for the question and answer. So that will be the Q&A in breakout rooms. So if you have any specific questions, make sure to note them down, remember them for that time for breakout rooms. Then after, we'll rejoin in the main room for our session summary and closing remarks. Great, next slide. And I would like to now take a moment to introduce some of our session hosts for today. You may have heard from them already or see them on the screen. So I'm just going to go in order from left to right on the screen. So first we have Zoreen, which we heard from at the beginning of today's session. She's our student transition educator. So thank you, Zoreen, for joining us today. Myself, Georgia, I'm an international student advisor, specifically for immigration. We have Hannah joining us today, coordinator, international student experience. We also have Muskan and Akshita, international student engagement lead at Co-op. So thank you everyone for the session hosts for joining us today. A little quick introduction, but we will keep it moving along. So
what are the support and resources available for international students today? So let's dive right in. At SFU, you're never alone. Our international student advisors are here to help and guide you every step of the way. We offer international student advising programs in person in all 3 campuses. If you're off campus, we've got you covered. You can join drop-in sessions virtually also. And if none of these options make sense, no problem. Simply email us at our email address listed below and take a moment to please scan our QR code on your screen and keep the email handy for future reference. That way you'll always have the access for the support you need from us. Passing on to Muskan.
Thank you, Akshita. Apart from advising, another way we offer support is through our amazing self-guided resources for international students. I would suggest you to please scan the QR code available on the screen here, or even take a picture for later reference. If you follow the link, it will take you to the international student advising programs, where you can access support through different ways, such as 4-star welcome guides for transitional support as new students. This is a step-by-step guide catering to each of our demographics. So whether you're an international student, whether you're undergraduate, graduate, a transfer, or a refugee, we have downloadable checklists for all. Then if you scroll to the bottom of the QR code link, you can also find the instruction guides with videos and printable handouts related to immigration and non-immigration topics. And thirdly, you can also always explore this by topic and find important information tailored for international students organized by different topics.
Okay, so what is the Global Student Center? For me, the Global Student Center is more than just a place on campus. It's more and so like a community where international students can find support, resources, and a sense of belonging. As an international student myself, the GSC, as we call it in short form, has been a lifeline. I know how overwhelming it can be for you to adapt to a new country, new culture, and a whole new system. And the GSC, for me, made those changes a little easier to handle. It wasn't just about getting the practical help that I needed. It was also about feeling included in a space. The GSC gave me a space to connect with other students who shared these same struggles, and it helped me feel at home here at SFU. It helped me overcome the challenges that come up with being away from home, and most importantly, the confidence that I gained to step up and give back. And here I am on the other side of the panel helping you guys. So the GSC is here to support you every step of the way from day one until the very end. Whether you need advice, a helping hand, or simply a place to connect, we've got you covered. All you need to do is reach out, just talk to us, or show up at any of our events, and we'll take care of the rest.
Thank you, Akshita, for that. So moving on to what the Global Student Center does, Akshita did share a lot about that. So I'll take you to the fun part, kind of the upcoming events and sessions that are coming up. Those are actually one of the best ways to make connections, grow your network, meet amazing people, and get to know your SFU resources. So I would again say, as I've been saying, please scan the QR code here at the slide and register today to reserve your spot first and then to also get reminders because it's really easy to forget. We have several events coming up. Firstly, we have our social insurance clinic, an important resource where you can obtain your SIN number. Please note that this is an important document required by all newcomers to Canada. So you need your SIN to be able to work in Canada. And for that, we have two sessions happening on both of our campuses, firstly in Burnaby campus on September 5 and 8, and then again in Surrey campus on September 9. Uh, Next, we have our Global Connect, the intercultural social with global cuisines, an event that brings students together through culture, food, and connections with flavors from all around the world. And this is one of the most popular events of GSC. I remember attending it as well. And it's happening in early October and November. Another event will be hosting is also a monthly pop-up pantry at the Global Student Center. It is a pop-up style event to share free groceries for students. So you can also attend this and get free groceries. Our first event will actually be on September 17th, and then it will be a monthly pop-up. Next, again, in collaboration with SFU Health and Counseling, GSC is also bringing Creative Collective, an event fostering well-being through creative expressions. So if you show up to this one, we'll offer opportunity to connect over creative crafts, games, and it's happening on multiple dates from September to November, and our first event is actually September 24th. Yeah, there are also a series of welcome socials happening, and I'll take you through a rundown of on them. They're happening on both campuses of SFU, and attending this event is an amazing way to kickstart your journey at SFU, meeting new friends, and learning about the SFU resources. These socials are happening in both the campuses, so both in Burnaby and Surrey campuses as well. The one in Burnaby will take place in the GSC and will be on the September 9th, 10th, and 11th from 11:30 to 3:30 p.m., while the one in Surrey will take place in the Surrey Center building from 1 to 3. So Akshata and I, the co-op students, will both be there. So hope to see you in person and hope you say hi to us.
Well, thank you so much both to Muskan and to Akshita. One more thing just to add here is that although there's so many fun things, there's definitely going to be a couple of challenges along the way, and you're going to have a whole bunch of questions. And so the Global Student Center is also a one-stop shop place for you to come and ask those questions. So whether you come in for some of our group advising, or you come in for some one-on-one advising, this is your space to have a team of professionals and some friendly student staff to ask your questions. And if we don't know what the answer is, we're going to help you to find it. So you're not alone. The campus is big. There's a lot of things that you're going to be trying to navigate. Stop by so that you get a feel for what's going on. Read the calendar so that you know what events might be happening. So for example, on the screen here, you can see we have a career and job search support option. We have international student advising, academic writing, guidance and wellness, as well as something from the Center for Accessible Learning. So the GSC, the Global Student Center, is in your backpack whenever you need it. So all you need to do is just stop by and know what's happening. So in particular, the next few slides are going to take us through an awesome resource through the health and wellness, health and counseling support system. And I'd like to invite Ricky into this space now, just to switch a bit of gears. You over there, Ricky? You ready for this?
Yes, I am. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. So Ricky, maybe just to start off with the open-ended question, what's available at health and counseling services for students?
Yeah, great question. So we want to make sure that you take care of yourselves during your studies. It's a very long journey. So at Health and Counseling here, we have doctors available to help you with all your medical needs, whether that's cold and flu season or more serious concerns, to even things like your mental health and wellness. They're available to support you. We also have nurses that can help with vaccinations, any testings. Our mental health nurses can provide coping skills during stressful events. And of course, we have counselors that are available to provide mental health support. I would like to add we have a specialized Black counselor and an LGBTQ plus counselor as well. And then there's me, the transition case manager.
So I think you need to tell us a little bit more about that, Ricky. What does it mean to be a transition case manager for all of these international students here?
Great question. So what do I do? My role is very unique in that I support students from international pathways and their transition to within and out of SFU. I really like to say that life is never nice and tidy. It's kind of messy. So what I try to do is provide you with practical support and assistance in understanding different processes such as the medical system, the education system, maybe that's even culture shock, stress management, career work, and overall just general life in and out of SFU. So that's kind of what I do. I also run a arts group called, the Creative Collective at the GSC. So I also help with de-stressing that way. And I also have some drop-in hours at the GSC as well if you can't make it to a appointment at Health and Counseling.
That's great. So everyone in the room, as you are transitioning from wherever you are into our space, Ricky is your best friend when it comes to things around your mental health support needs. And sometimes we don't know that we need some support. So even if you just stop by and say hi to Ricky, he's a wonderful, friendly person and a lovely resource to have as you're navigating things. So, what happens though if you can't help me or figure things out, Ricky?
Great question. So if I can't figure things out, I will try my best to look at other resources and supports both on and off campus that can be of support. Sometimes we need to explore things off campus to really figure out what's happening. Even if I can't help you, I'll try to send you to someone who can or find a place that can support you. In a way, we're trying to again navigate you so you're not alone. What we want to do is support you as much as we can, even if we don't know the answer.
Now, I know I've heard that in Canada things can be a little expensive. So, do you cost any money, Ricky?
Great question. So, here at Health and Counseling, the doctor's visits are free if you have medical insurance. So, either if you have MSP or GuardMe and you're enrolled in classes, you're able to see the doctors for whatever reason you want. Our mental health nurses and our counselors are also free of charge to help you with coping as long as you're a registered student. And for myself, it's free. You can see me whenever, even if you're taking a semester break and you're just trying to figure some stuff out, you can see me then. So I'm here to support you guys.
That all sounds really positive. That's awesome. So now maybe I'm not feeling that comfortable with sharing a bit of my own personal information with you because I don't really know you. So tell me, is the information that I share confidential and what exactly does that mean?
Yes, yes, we get this question a lot from students because everyone's, different from all the different countries. So here, confidentiality means that without your permission, we are not able to share any of your information outside of health and counseling. That means your instructors, friends, nobody will know that you're here getting support or anything like that, unless you give us permission to do so, or if you share the information yourself. So you can rest assured and feel confident that we'll keep your information safe here. I do want to let you know in really, really extreme cases, if there's a concern for your safety or safety of other members, then we may have to share some of your information, but it's extreme cases.
That all makes good sense. Thank you. So now, what are some practical tips as I transition, Ricky?
Yes, yes. So the one thing I always stress to students is routines. They work. I know we don't like to hear that. But seriously, when midterms are happening, finals are starting, and you're all over the place, it's really important to have a routine, like keeping your sleep schedule, making sure you're eating meals, or taking breaks, or connecting with friends, whatever it may be. It's really important to have that routine. Secondly, it's making time for things. So your well-being encompasses many elements. So whether that's your physical, emotional, social, or spiritual health, make sure to access that. Don't stay in your rooms. Even studying at the library or going at a cafe can do wonders for you. Keep up with moving because you don't want to sit too long, right? You got to get your energy levels up, connect with others, and whatever else you may need. My last tip is things may not go the way you predicted, and that's okay. As you guys are preparing to come to Canada, or maybe you're here already, we all imagine things going a certain way, and when it doesn't, it's a challenge. That's why we're here. Don't bottle things up. Come by, talk to us, and let's see how we can help you out.
That all sounds like three pretty doable tips, even though sometimes the first one about the routines can be a little tough. So thank you for walking us through that. And so now I think we're running really well on schedule, and perhaps most of you are here to learn more from the students themselves. So I'd like to introduce our three graduate panelists. If all of you could please have your videos on if they aren't already. We're going to switch gears, and if each of you could please introduce yourself with your name, your major, your year of studies, if you want to offer the languages that you speak, and how you came to SFU, that would be great. So starting with Sikandra, over to you, please.
I'm Sikandra Ali, and I am doing my PhD in education at SFU. I started a couple of years ago, so I'm in my third year almost now. I came after a break of 10 years, so I did my master's in the US, and originally I call Pakistan my home. So really good to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sikandra. And over to you, Ugo.
All right, thank you very much. So my name is Ugo. I'm international and I'm from Nigeria. I have a background in mechanical engineering and I worked in the industry in my country before coming over here to pursue my master's in sustainable energy engineering. And I'm fluent in two languages, English and my native language, Igbo language. So it's good to be here. Thank you very much.
That's amazing. Thank you, Ugo.
I'm Yushin, and if you forget how to pronounce my name, please just ask me. I won't be offended. So I am studying for a master's degree in archaeology in the Faculty of Environment. And I came here last year, so I'll be starting my second year in September very soon. I was born and raised in Beijing, so I speak Mandarin Chinese. And I had a undergrad degree at McGill University in Montreal, Quebec. I had a double major in anthropology and biology. And then after that, I decided that I'm interested in archaeological science. And so that's why I came here for SFU because it has a really cool archaeology department. So yeah, that's all about me.
Thank you so much, Yushin. So moving on to our undergraduate panelists, I believe that we have 5 in the room. And if you can all have your videos on, perhaps we can begin with Ada. If you could do a similar introduction, please. Over to you.
For sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Aishin Jiang, also go by Ada. I'm fourth year psychology student, but also minoring in counseling and human development. Uh, and my first language is Mandarin. So I transferred from an international high school in China to FIC and to SFU. And I'm currently doing co-op. So yeah, very excited to meet everyone here.
Thank you, Ada. And yeah, perhaps there might be some of you in the room who are also transferring from Fraser International College from FIC. And if that's you, we're super excited to see you up the mountain a little bit higher. Over to you, Kyron.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Kyran. I've already graduated from SFU. I majored in political science, and I came here to SFU as an international high school student outside of Canada. And so I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's nice to have a new alumni in the space here. I bet you're going to have a new vision and wealth of knowledge to be able to share. Over to you, Diksha.
Hi everyone. I'm Diksha, and I also recently graduated. So um, I did psychology. I was a transfer student from India. I came in my third year directly to SFU. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here with all of you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Diksha. It's not always nice to know all the different pathways that our students come into SFU. It's not only one way. So you all bring a wealth of experiences worth sharing. Over to you, Natalie.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie and I'm currently in my second year, going to my third year this fall. And this is gonna be my second year in SFU because I transferred from Fraser International College, which is FIC, and I was born and raised back in Vietnam, so can speak two languages like fluently, which are English and Vietnamese, but I also speak a little bit of French since I took French in my high school. But yeah, I'm a BD, School of Business, which is business administration major in SFU. And yeah, I'm really glad to be here with you guys.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. And I love all the different languages that some of you have shared. SFU prides itself in being a multicultural space, and with that comes all the different languages that many of you will bring. And last but not least, Sophia, over to you.
Hi, I'm Sofia. I'm a third year business student from Peru, so I speak Spanish. I am concentrating in marketing and I also transfer from FIC, actually with Natalie, I think. Another thing about me is that I'm part of the SFU Student Council, SFSS, and I look everything that is the organization of events, which I hope you guys will like to attend when you arrive.
Yes, thank you, Sophia. Being involved is definitely a big part of everyone's experience, so that's a great reminder. For the rest of the next, let's say 30 minutes, what we're going to do is ask 3 questions to all 8 of our panelists so that you can have a sense of the undergraduate perspective as well as the graduate perspective and across all 8 faculties, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to begin with our undergraduate panel for question number 1, beginning with Ada. Ada, what are some of the ways that have worked for you to meet new people at SFU? Can you give us one tip?
For sure. I think one of the most helpful strategies for me was following like SFU's social media channels. They frequently post like updates about on-campus opportunities, including like volunteer position, events, and workshops. For example, my first volunteer experience at SFU was with the Sexual Violence and Prevention Office. So the opportunity I found it through SFU's volunteer website. So this experience allowed me to meet more people who shared a similar interests but came from diverse backgrounds. So yeah, I would say that's one of the most strategy for me to meet new people who share the similar interest.
Excellent. Yeah, follow those social media channels for sure. How about you, Kyron? How have you met new people?
Oh, for me, I was able to meet new people through student clubs and student unions. So every faculty and department in SFU have student unions. And for mine, since I majored in political science, I really involved myself into my own political science student union. And I was able to meet like-minded peers who shared the same major as me, and who had similar interests as I did. So yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, join your student clubs and you're automatically enrolled in your own student union, whether you know it or not. So feel free to join those events for sure. Over to you, Diksha. How have you met people at SFU?
I feel for me, one of the best ways was through the peer mentorship program. So my department, which is the Faculty of Arts and Social Science, we have a peer mentorship program, as I feel the other departments also do. And I started off as a mentee where I got a lot of help from my mentor, and then later on, I became a mentor myself. So I still had that same environment, a lot of people I had already met as a mentee, and I got to make a lot of new connections and just learn a lot about people's interests. So that was definitely a great way for me to find the people that I like hanging out with.
I love hearing that story, how you went from being mentored to being a mentor yourself. That's always a nice little journey to be on. Thank you for that. And over to you, Natalie. Something that you'd like to share.
Oh, so for my case, beside all the stuff that I did, like all the panelists that I talked about, one way that works for me is that I'm a religious person. So I'm Catholic myself, and it's really nice to know that there's like a place for you to practice your faith, either you're Muslim or you're Catholic or you're Buddhism, like a lot of religious, you can practice at Multi-Faith Center. I drop it in the I will drop it in the section below. And yeah, so that's where I get to know like all the people that share the same religion as me. So that's where I met most of my friends. Um, and yeah, join in and practice our faith together.
Yes, when you move away from home, you're leaving a lot of things of comfort. And for many of us, having some form of a connection to a faith is really valuable. So at SFU, we indeed have what Natalie just shared, which is the Multi-Faith Center. So thank you for dropping that in the chat. And over to you, Sophia. How have you met
Oh,
new people?
oh, for me, the way I met most of my friends was definitely through residence and dining hall, especially in my first year, because if you actually think about it, the people who move into residence on their first year are on the same position as you, where they do not really know anyone, and they are super excited and also super nervous. So if you approach new people, they're probably going to be really excited about it too, because they also want to meet new friends. So I would definitely encourage if you're moving to residence to go to res events and just talking to people in dining hall, like finding groups, like it really, really helps.
Yeah, what better way to meet people than over food? So whether you are staying on residence and have the meal plan, or even if you're not staying on residence and want to have some food together with other students, the dining hall is a great place to meet people for sure. And moving over to you, Sikandra, something about meeting new people.
Yeah, so for me, I personally stood up for elections when they came around in the SFU, Senate and Board of Governors. So I actually got into Senate, and then that opened up a host of opportunities for me. So using that platform, I was able to get on a position on a Senate Appeals Board, which is where it gets decided, the last point of contact, where students stay on, stay off. Um, and then also I was able to get into the Senate Awards Adjudication Committee because I always wanted to know how they send out awards, how they determine stuff, bursaries. So it was really eye-opening to see all of that happening. And because I am very interested in education management, that's been my career path. So for me, looking at how the government is run, like Senate, which decides on the academic matters, that was very important for me. So I met a whole lot of people through that platform, and I've had lots of opportunities through that as well. So just stepping up when elections come around is going to be great. I'm going to pop the links into the chat. They're going to open in spring 2026. And then it's going to be for a year. So hopefully some of you will be able to step up and win these seats. All right.
That's a wonderful plug for an opportunity. Get involved in our campus, get involved in the government, get involved in the Senate. Just like what everyone else has said so far, you know what you like to do what you like to do so that you meet other people who might have some similarities. So that's wonderful that it also aligns with your academic pursuits, Sikandra. Thank you. How about you, Ugo?
Thank you very much. So, there are many ways to actually meet new people, but one key ingredient you need is you have to be proactive yourself. So, one of the ways that I did to be proactive was to volunteer and one of the places I volunteered from was with the soccer. So, I joined the Society for African and Caribbean Students group, it's a club. One of the things one of the enjoyable moments, or let's say memorable moments I had there, was the movie nights, the camping trips, and the barbecues that were organized as well. So I think generally it's a very good experience to join student clubs on campus, and I would recommend like being proactive and actually looking up these things. There are lots of resources on SFU website that you can use, and here I'm just posting the link to Soka for those who are interested. And yeah, so I think you have to be proactive. You have to take that step to meet people. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really great reminder. Although for some of us, being proactive, which is basically trying to push yourself to do more things and putting yourself out there, sometimes that's not always comfortable to do, but you will be rewarded, because the moment you take those steps is the moment that you end up opening a whole bunch of doors. And Ugo, I would like to highlight this idea of the volunteering aspect. So not only are you putting yourself out there, not only are you joining the clubs like Soka, but you're also choosing to give back in time, whether it's like Sikandra said, in the government, or you're volunteering in different other spaces on or off campus. You meet people by doing things with people. So that's a great reminder. And last but not least, our eighth panelist, Yushin. Do you have anything that may not have already been said about how you might have been meeting new people at SFU?
You all had very good advices, and I only have one more simple suggestion. That is, go to class and talk to people. Because when you just start going to, when the semester just begins, everybody is desperate to make new friends. Everybody is desperate to find study buddies in the class so that, they can carry each other over the semester. So, I believe that it is also very easy to form a close relationship when you have a class in common so that you can discuss the term projects, you can discuss the homework, you can study together. And so from making friends with people in your class, you can actually gradually become actually closer friends in life, and your friends might introduce you to their friends, and you can expand your social circles. For a grad student, you might not have that many classes to attend, but you can start from the people in your faculty, other grad students, or other students in your supervisor's group. Yeah, definitely go to classes and start from study buddies to actual friends.
Love that. The study buddies is the way to go. I know that back in my day, my study buddy ended up being my roommate for 2 years, which I would have never met had I not said, "Hi, I'm really scared. I've never really been to these sort of big classes. My name is Zoreen. Who are you?" And the rest was history. So yeah, go to class. That's a great place. Moving on to our second question for our panel. Can you tell us one thing that you wish you knew earlier that may help our audience as they start their journey at SFU? So, beginning with Sophia, is there one thing that you wish you knew?
Yeah, definitely. I would highly recommend following Vancouver-based content creators in social media, specifically like food influencers and secret spots in Vancouver kind of influencers. I have found really great places to eat and underrated places to study all around Burnaby and Vancouver for them. And they're like not very tourist places, so you're not gonna find them when you look for best things to do in Vancouver, but it's more like for the local community and for you to integrate yourself with the community. I can leave some of the usernames in the chat, but like I would really highly recommend following them.
What a brilliant idea. You don't have to rely just on what's coming out of SFU. There's an entire community in the lower mainland of Vancouver who are likely going to have some good ideas for you. So, yes, get those local tips from locals. How about you, Ada? Something you wish you knew earlier?
Yes, I think the one thing I wish I knew earlier is to meet with an academic advisor early on. Can be incredibly beneficial for like course planning and the navigating your program. So, because I booked an appointment with an academic advisor when I was my third year, And he is not only helped me with my graduation requirement, but also recommend me pursuing a minor in counseling and human development based on my career goals. So I think for a new student, I strongly recommended just for scheduling a meeting with an advisor early on, so they can help you clarify your goals, like explore some programs and ensure that you're on the right path academically.
Yes, that's a brilliant suggestion. So all of you as new students, you all have access to an academic advisor, and their job is solely to support you, especially in your first year, to make sure that the courses you've taken are ones that are the right ones for you, or to even think ahead to plan. So sometimes going in that second and third year could be a little bit too late if you're trying to make some decisions. So meet them early, get a sense of how the flow is, and have your options on the table. How about you, Kyron? Something that you wish you knew earlier?
For sure. One of the things that I wish I knew earlier coming as an international student was the abundance of resources that SFU offers, particularly in the library. One of the resources they have is the Student Learning Commons, and through that they have writing peer educators, and that means that they have students who are able to help you through your writing skills and your writing techniques, or even your writing concerns, but also your learning techniques. So they help you how to study better, how to manage your time a lot more. And I just found that out on my last year of school. But if I knew that earlier, I would have definitely used that more, especially starting out in SFU and my university journey. So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a hot tip. And as a reminder to all of you, you pay student services fees. So if you use none of them, you're still paying for it. So you may as well at least try and get something out of it. And the SLC, the Student Learning Commons, which is located in the library, is ready and waiting for you in terms of helping you with your writing. Everybody at university needs to write, and we could all use a little support, especially if English is not your dominant language. We even have specific supports for that. So thank you. How about you, Diksha? Something you wish you knew earlier?
So I would definitely agree with everything that everyone's mentioned till now. There is so many resources at SFU, and I really wish that I knew that I have to reach out even to one resource, and then I can be guided to something that I might be needing. So I was very hesitant in my initial journey. I thought that maybe there is no resource that has an answer to the questions I have, and I would not really reach out. But now we all know at least the GSC. And even if there's something that you feel you might be struggling with, and you just go to them and you just tell them that maybe even something like, I don't know how to find jobs. And there is a resource for that, which I got to know much later, that there is career services where you can get help for your resume and you can book appointments with them. They can also guide you how to find jobs while you are studying, or like how to plan for later on. So those kind of things, sometimes students tend to miss out because they hesitate to reach out to any of the resources because they think that, oh, this I'm supposed to do this alone. I cannot ask anyone. So just reaching out and just asking. Yeah.
It's so true. The moment that you open one door, the chances of so many others opening is definitely there. And I also wanted to highlight this idea that you feel like as a university student, you're supposed to know everything. And in order to be smart, you shouldn't have to ask questions. But remember, there is no question that's a dumb question. Questions allow you to explore. They allow you to have more opportunities. They allow you to have more choices. And then, of course, you get to meet new people. So please take that little leap. How about you, Natalie? Something you wish you knew earlier?
So one thing I wish I knew earlier in my, not this summer term, but like in the spring semester, I took one classes in Surrey, and I wish I knew that we also have access to, the fitness center of the Surrey if you have like the minimum 3 credits courses. Of course, you have to decide like either Burnaby or Vancouver or Surrey is your main like fitness center. So for Burnaby, we have the gym on campus, but if you're taking classes in Surrey or in Vancouver, you will also have the recreational membership, like access to the public city fitness center. So that's the really good resource that I didn't know earlier until my one of my friends in Seattle, because she has a lot of classes in FW Surrey, so that's why she told me about that. But yeah, I will definitely take a note on that if I have more classes in Surrey next time.
Yes, that's a super one. That was news to me as well. Thank you, Natalie. And so, just as a reminder to folks in the room, SFU has three campuses. Our main and largest one is in Burnaby. We have another one in Surrey, and we have a final one in downtown Vancouver. And so, that's a great reminder that regardless of where most of your classes are, having access to facilities outside of your main campus is something you should explore. Opening up to Yushin, is there something that you wish you knew earlier?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to share some of my advices about the academia at SFU. So there are lots of academic opportunities at SFU. For example, there are so many courses offered across all the faculties, all the department, and you can actually take courses outside your department. And especially as grad student, you might need some extra trainings to complete your thesis, and you can actually talk to your supervisor and talk to the instructor and take some courses outside your department and enrich your skills. There are also some academic communication activities, such as the three-minute thesis competition that I participated this year. It is a really good opportunity for you to share your research and connect with other really amazing grad students around SFU and learn about their research. So if you're interested in the academia, you can definitely check out all the classes and academic activities available across the campus.
Yeah, especially for the grad students in the room, that is definitely a very proactive move on not only enriching your own academic options outside of your faculty, but also I love what you said about Yushin about the skill building and being able to share the research. Sometimes we graduate with our degree and leave, and then nobody really wants to read our research or talk about our academic ideas. So that's a great space to do that. Thank you. Over to you, Sikandra, something you wish you knew earlier.
Yeah, so teaching assistantships are a really good way to fund your graduate study here at SFU. And most often they're built into your offer letters. But one thing that I did not know previously was that you can apply to other departments as well when you're, let's say, a student at education and you want to apply and you have some skill set in business, you can apply for some courses at BD School of Business also. And there's a high chance that the skill set will convert and you will get TA-ships. So just wanted to put it out there that for students who are struggling, who do need that extra financial support, etc., it's always a good bet to apply to as many departments as you think you're a good fit for. And then just to wait. Sometimes you get multiple offers also, so that's also good. But then you have to manage your coursework, so make sure that you take as much workload as is manageable. TA-ships does require a lot of work out of you, so it's always good to manage. So one thing that I will pop in here is that the positions are posted on the Monday on the 10th week, and they remain open for two weeks, right? So you have ample opportunity to look at any TA-ships that you feel may fit. And they are open to all undergraduates as well as graduates, although graduate students do have priority because it's part of their the way they build up the capacity to teach as well. Right. So I'm just gonna pop this in the link.
Super tip, Sikandra. And so for those in the room who are unfamiliar, TA stands for teaching assistant, and for most courses, especially the earlier undergraduate courses, most professors will have the assistance of a teaching assistant who might be co-teaching with the professor and or offering office hours, or they might even be doing the marking. So if you are interested in the experience of that, try to get a TA ship. If you need some money, try and get a TA ship. And if you want both, And I think the hot tip Sikandra shared was that you don't necessarily only have to apply to your own department or your own faculty. The idea of being a TA has somewhat of a generic skill set. So it might be a great idea to apply to a whole bunch. And if someone could also put in the chat the resource of the Center for Educational Excellence, otherwise known as the CEE, they provide TA training for those of you who may need that support. Maybe you've never had that kind of a position before, as well as some online Canvas modules, which are really great. So look out for those. And last but not least, Ugo, something you wish you knew earlier.
All right, thank you very much. So one big tip I will give for students, especially graduate students in this case, is to apply for as many scholarships as possible. So especially if your grades are very good, there are many scholarship opportunities that I wish I applied for that I later happened to find out about them, but it was too late for that. I know there are lots of students on my position as well who often overlook these opportunities. So, and scholarships are a good way of easing financial pressures and allow you to focus more on your studies and build your research as applicable in my case. So I would recommend that there are other resources on SFU website that can guide on that. I know that SFU also gives bursaries as well to students if you apply. So these are what I wish I took more advantage of when I was a student. So I'll highly recommend that, and I hope you make the best out of it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's definitely critical to remember. Vancouver is an expensive city, and you will want to have access to some extra money. I always tell my kids, if you don't apply, someone else is going to apply. So it's survival of the fittest, and the competition is there. But the number of people who convince themselves, oh, it's not going to be me, or oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, it's too difficult, it's too competitive, and then they don't apply, somebody's got to apply. Apply to everything if you have time. Who knows? Some free money is always welcome. So thanks, Hugo. Moving on to our third and final question for this panel session. Number 3. As an international student at SFU, what were some pleasant surprises that you experienced that were different than what you had expected before coming to Canada? Just to switch things up, I'm going to be a little crazy and start with our graduate students this time. So, Yushin, starting with you, is there something that you didn't realize was going to be the case and it ended up being that way?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a lovely question. One of my greatest pleasant surprise was how culturally diverse Canada is. Because before I came to Canada, I sort of imagined it as a really white country, but clearly it is not. There are people from all over the world coming to Canada and living here and bringing their own culture. So you can meet people who speak different languages. You can see restaurants and stores run by people of different cultural backgrounds. So it is really good. It's really cool to be able to get a glimpse of such a wide range of culture from all over the world in Vancouver. So yeah, that's definitely something a really pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Yushin. Everything from food and art and languages and ways of being, it's super diverse. So hopefully we can all show up in our own skin and feel proud about the things that we are and what we represent and grow through things together. Thank you for that. Sikandra, something that was a pleasant surprise for you?
Yep. Yes. So essentially, I have loved the weather here. I thought it was going to be rainy. That's what I've heard since my childhood. Vancouver, Seattle, they're really bad with the rain. However, I find it manageable than compared to the snow in Ontario. So, really weird thing. I wasn't going to apply to British Columbia, but it seemed like that was the best bet for me. I actually got admission here, so I'm really liking it here. It's a beautiful city. One thing that beautiful province also, and Burnaby itself is a beautiful city. I've actually felt that it's always good to check the weather before going out. I know like the weather changes like 15 degrees in a day, so I get cold easily. So I think it's always a good bet to check the weather before leaving and then grab on as many layers as you need. So I'll just pop in a good site that I felt helps with a 10-day weather forecast. So hopefully you guys will be able to use that and not get ill during your time here. Okay.
You and me both, Sikandra. I would say every morning that's the one app that I always check because things do change. And for folks in the room, one of the beautiful things about Vancouver is that we actually have four seasons. I don't know that many cities around the world that have actually four distinct seasons. And so you have a chance to experience a lot of things. And we have both the mountains and the water. So I'm not sure, yeah, how much more beautiful you can get. So thanks for that. How about you, Hugo? Pleasant surprise to share?
Thank you very much. Okay, so one thing I'll say is that there's a difference between reading about Canada or watching about Canada on YouTube or on videos and then expressing it yourself. Those are two different things. So one thing that thrilled me a lot was how like supportive people here, where sometimes people can just walk up to me and like, oh, you look confused, how can we help you? Like, so that warmth reception was something I enjoyed about Canada, and not just about SFU, but also in general in the community as well. And of course, I want to also point out that BC or Canada in general is very beautiful. Like I've seen it, but I've also experienced it. I can tell that this country is beautiful. It has vast landscapes, mountains, lakes, the forest. So like so much different nice views to experience, and so it's really worth trying it. And I recommend as well as a student, it's good for your mental health if you can sometimes take a travel or take some time off with friends. Very important, and it will make you to actually experience the beauty and the vast richness and wealth of the Canadian system. Thank you.
Yeah, so true. Not only is the community on and off campus friendly, warm, and polite, but the opportunities for you to have little escapes and getaways and adventures, and whether it's a camping or a glamping or doing a staycation, there's so many opportunities. BC is huge, Canada is huge. All you need to do is put a plan in place. So hopefully you get the chance to explore during your time here. How about you, Natalie? A pleasant surprise to share?
I would say that before coming here, I didn't know small talk is a really like thing here in Canada and as in America in general. So I'm in business major, which means I go to networking events a lot, and I also working part-time as well. So people like do a lot of small talks and on a daily basis. And I was kind of like amazed in a sense because people talk about everything, like the weather most often. And people just like, hey, how are you? Just to check up if you're doing fine or yeah, like I'm kind of like surprised how people do small talk that often here compared to where I'm from in Asia, where you don't, actually talk to strangers. And yeah, that's a nice thing actually. And actually from those small talks that I have made, a lot of new friends and I still like I'm still their friends right now. And from the small talk we go to like deeper and bigger talks. So that's what I really enjoy.
Oh, that warms my heart, Natalie. And it goes back to some of the ideas that we had earlier on, which is like going out of your comfort zone and taking that step and trying to open that door and push yourself. And sometimes all it takes is a nice smile with a hello, an introduction, whether you want to talk about the weather and feel silly about it, or you just want to compliment someone what they're wearing or what they're doing or what they said. Any small thing can open a door and lead to something more. So it's in your interest to just yeah, push yourself if it feels a little odd. Moving on to Sophia, a pleasant surprise that maybe yeah, you didn't expect.
Well, I wasn't expecting to find so many people from my same country and my same culture. So I am Peruvian, and I thought when I originally came to Canada, I thought like, especially to SFU, I didn't think I would think much of a Peruvian culture there, but I was terribly wrong. There is so many Peruvians, and it's crazy how at the end everyone is connected in some way. So right now, the friends that I actually met in Canada, now that I'm in Peru, I'm gonna see them again because turns out we live closer than we thought we did. And there is also, and it's not only on SFU itself, but you can look for, if you like to go clubbing, for example, there is specific clubs that give you Latin night music. So you are going to find a lot of Latin Americans there. So I think it's I really like meeting people from other countries, but it's also nice to have that reminder of that at the end you still have those people, that you can connect because of your same cultural background.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Sophia. And this idea of homesickness, missing your home, it's a real phenomenon. It's likely going to happen. So you may as well try to prepare for ways to make yourself feel comfortable. And what better way than being around people who you might have some similarities with, whether it's the actual country, whether it's through the language, whether it's through the culture and food, whether it's through the religion, whatever that space is, having that zone of comfort will allow you to take other risks in spaces that don't feel so comfortable. So yes, check those out for sure. How about you, Ada? A pleasant surprise?
Yes, I love all the answer by the way, and I think one of the most pleasant surprises for me has been the food culture in Vancouver. So I think before coming, I thought I might miss the flavor of home and like would have like limited option, but it turned out to be the opposite. So here, I think in Vancouver, you can try food from so many different cultures, and it feels like yeah, it just feels like so amazing, and also at the same time, I was amazed to find like some authentic dishes from my own hometown, so which made me like feel more connected and less homesick. And yeah, I think definitely food culture is something I feel very surprised in Vancouver.
Yeah, you and me both. I think over the last 1 or 2 decades, things in fact have changed so much. And I think it's by virtue of all of the international students and migrants and immigrants and expats. A lot of people are choosing to come and go, and there's like a lot of give and take. And what better way to do that than through food? So whether or not you're a foodie or not, likely, if you look hard enough, you will find the food that you are craving. And if you don't, you can definitely find the ingredients to try to make it. So hopefully you have a little bit of cooking under your belt. How about you, Kyron? Some pleasant surprise that you didn't realize until you got here?
For sure. One of the surprises I got in SFU or just going to Canada in general was how accessible and diverse and open a volunteer experience could be. So, as someone with a political science major, I was really keen on wanting to involve myself in organizations, and I found out that it was very accessible to volunteer in Canada and also in SFU. And it was helpful for me because there were I had a lot of passions about certain subjects and activism for me. And so I was able to delve in that because of these volunteer opportunities. So that was a pleasant surprise. Yeah.
Yes, volunteer experiences cannot say more positive things about them. Thank you for that extra sharing. And Diksha, you want to wrap us up here with your pleasant surprise of sharing?
I think there's so much that has been covered. Probably just I felt when I was coming, I was expecting the academic environment to be very formal and competitive. It for sure is competitive, but the formal part, from where I come, it's quite formal. And here it felt that I could really I have made really great connections with my instructors, my professors, and even though I have graduated, I still talk to some of them. So that's something that was a surprise to me. I really don't talk to many of my professors from back home, but I do talk to quite a few of them from here. And that kind of connection and just professors giving you that liberty to be able to talk to them and just really get involved was really surprising and endearing for me.
Yeah, what a great reminder, Diksha. I think just culturally speaking, the North American academic environment is definitely a little more informal than many around the world. And so being able to reap the benefits of connecting with people, even for a good reference or some tips down the road or whatever it is, that's definitely a risk worth taking if it doesn't feel comfortable. So thank you for that. So that brings us to the end of our 3-question, 8-person student panel. A whole wealth of information. Hopefully, you can take a look at this transcript of this if you haven't been taking notes.